Wisdom. Where does wisdom come from? Where did my wisdom come from? Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, anyone that has followed my YouTube channel or been a Facebook friend or who's been on my TikTok knows that I'm all about wisdom. Often it's been said that I'm like the medium who hears dead people, except I hear wisdom. I really do. You know, I always have my recorder with me or my notepad with me, and I have done this for years and years. Since I was little, I would write down my notes. I would scribble them. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and a wisdom inspiration would come to me, a word of knowledge. And I would go and I would scribble it down, and I could barely read it in the morning, and then I would make a video about it. So often I'll be out on the running trail and, wisdom will come to me about any kind of subject. I mean, I talk about a whole range of subjects. I mean, you name the topic and I pretty much have talked about it. Maybe there's a couple topics that I haven't talked about, such as politics, but even that I've talked about in a very vague sort of way. I don't take sides either way, but I've just talked about, politics from the standpoint of often it doesn't mix well in relationships. And so I tend to keep that aspect out because I have friends on all sides of the fence. And so, for me, I'm very open to political views. I want to know what people believe and what they stand for and what's important to me. And so the thing about it is that wisdom for me has been my whole life's journey. And now at almost 70 years old, instead of being a protege to wisdom, I feel like I'm a mentor. I have been a mentor for a long time. And I'm not a life coach. I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and I'm a full-time college student. And I've had a lot of amazing careers that had nothing to do with wisdom. And yet wisdom was applicable all throughout my life. I think often, the more wisdom that we learn, often the more we can navigate through life better. And I think early on, I developed the gift of wisdom. I think we all have gifts. I know we all have gifts. And I think different circumstances will pull out a gift that, that another person may have it, but they may never develop it due to circumstances. Sometimes, people will go through a traumatic experience or something, and it will actually pull out a gift that never would have come to the surface before. I've often heard that many people who become medical professionals became doctors or nurses because they wanted to help people, because along the way either they were sick or someone they loved was sick. And so out of a negative experience can often come a positive. And so often a person's gifts, talents, abilities can be developed through whatever they've been through, good or not so good. And so the key to it is whatever your gift is to recognize it and then develop it. And so my whole life has been about wisdom. I read so many motivational and wisdom books. I was so drawn to that in the late 1970s, all through the 80s, all through the 90s. And then, I pretty much felt at that point I had had enough. And then I just let wisdom come to me through my day-to-day experiences, through life, through my soul. And so that's how I come on here and share that with everyone. Everyone has wisdom. It's just some have it, I think, in a different capacity at a very different level. And I think that is my gift. And so many people, many friends will come to me and ask me, what my feel is on certain subjects. And, I'll give them my opinion, my beliefs, my thoughts, and yet they've got to decide what's right for them. Because what works well for one person may not necessarily work as well for someone else. And so we all have to decide what's right for us. But do develop your gifts, your traits, your talents, your gifts and abilities. Develop those, find what is right for you. And usually it'll be your passion. Usually, wisdom is my passion, along with several other, very positive gifts that I have. And so whatever your challenge or your gift is, you'll usually be passionate about it. And you'll usually, you will embrace it. And, some people are artists, some people are pianists, some people are doctors, some people are nurses, some people are plumbers. Embrace your passion. So for me, it's wisdom. And I believe it's been with me my whole life. It was probably brought out through circumstances early on. And I just fine-tuned it more so than, pretty much anyone I know personally. And I've done that my whole life. So I would say, we also become mentors in life. There's a time that we're a protege, and then there's a time that we become a mentor. And so I'm probably more in the mentor role, although I'm always learning. Okay, I'm always learning. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.